Hello once more, my wonderful friends. It is time for more stories. This is from Reddit user RecFinal14. Really hope I said that right. Club's new rule. My video game club had a few rules to follow. They were simple, easy to understand. For spring semester, there was a need for a new rule. We really didn't think we had to make it a rule. It honestly should have been obvious. This started during the last year's Halloween party when I met Rick. He had a Rick Sanchez costume. He looked okay. We just sort of exchanged pleasantries. I really wasn't paying attention. There's a lot of new people I was meeting at this party. Shortly after he moved on, one of the new students started to talk to me. Didn't you notice? No, what do you mean? Can't you smell him? My allergies are acting up at the moment. Why? Is he like drunk? No, man. He stinks. He hasn't had a bath in weeks. At that moment, I was sort of relieved I couldn't smell him. One of the other students overheard us. He, Dave, joins this conversation. I heard he got kicked out of his parents' house. He's been living outside Matt's house in his car. Well, why doesn't he use the bath in Matt's house? I don't know. Matt's asked him if he wanted to, but he always refused. Aren't there shower stalls in the school's gym that he can use? Yeah, he knows. He just doesn't want to use them. Hasn't anyone mentioned to him how bad he smells? Yeah, Matt tried. He won't listen. How's he allowed in any of his classes? He has online classes. He only shows up for the video game club. At that moment, a student made an announcement. There's going to be an after party at the VP house. There were people leaving to get booze, and others were headed to the VP house. People were lining up to get to the elevator first. Rick was one of the first in the elevator, and the rest of the students waited a bit for someone else to go. No one wanted to be stuck in an elevator with him, and some were quick to head straight for the stairs. Even if I couldn't smell him, I wasn't going to take any chances. Others decided to bail on the after party, and some just left pretending to make sure they had everything that they brought with them. No one dared to get in that elevator with them. Oh, jeez, he must have smelled really bad then. I headed back to the room and saw another student, Jackie, spraying air freshener all over the place, all while complaining about the smell that he left behind. I decided to start a conversation with her, got more info about him. She said that it was a pain to have to make sure the room stayed clean and odor-free. I did ask her if she had mentioned it to the VP or the Prez, and they were trying to give Rick leniency due to his home situation. They thought it was a temporary thing, but it started to become really apparent that it wasn't. No one noticed that he wasn't bathing at first. It starts little by little, and after a few days, we noticed. After a while, it just couldn't be ignored. He didn't show up to the Tuesday meeting I attended, the Tuesday ones, when I had classes to attend. The club had to invest more funds in air fresheners and disinfectant wipes. Everyone agreed that something had to be done. This could not continue. On Thursday, the following day, the video game club meeting had started. We're talking about Rick. As expected, everyone who had the unfortunate luck to meet him really made their thoughts clear. No one's happy about Rick's choice to forego bathing. They didn't hate him, just this choice that he was making. The Prez asked for a volunteer to talk to Rick about his hygiene. While they were willing to openly talk about their issues about him, no one wanted to be the one to talk to him. There is also a chance that he won't take it well. After around a minute of silence, the VP volunteers to be the one to talk to him. The room is filled with relief. They won't have to talk to him. The meeting moves on to other business, and then people begin to play games on PS4, Switch, Xbox, whatever. The VP texts Rick to meet him on Friday to have a conversation. I see VP on Monday and ask him about how the meeting went with Rick. VP states that he got him to understand and he needs to fix his hygiene. While he may have understood, he took a different approach than expected. For the first time, I was glad to be in class instead of club's meeting on Tuesday. Based on the account of a few people who were there, it was a fucking nightmare. The room was filled with a smell far worse than before. Not only did Rick choose not to bathe, he decided to spray himself with a can of Axe. It didn't match the smell. It merged with it. He was quickly asked to leave the room by both the president and the vice president. "I'm sorry, man. You gotta go." "Why?" "Because you stink." He was not in the mood to be nice anymore. "I don't. I did what you asked. I smell better now." "I asked you to take a bath. Not in a can of Axe." "It's the same thing. No one can tell I haven't taken a bath." This is called the Chris Chan approach. At this moment, more students begin to yell at Rick that he smells and that he needs to leave the room. Rick is shocked by this and tries to argue. He kept repeating that using Axe had the same effect as taking a bath. No one's buying into his ideas, and he left shortly. VP informed him that he was banned from coming back until he, bathed. As far as I know, Rick has not been back to the video game club. There will always be a reminder of him, though. A new rule posted in the spring semester was added. All club members must keep up with their hygiene. Anyone who fails to do so will be asked to leave. Oh, this is not the first time I've actually seen this rule. This is a thing that is starting to show up more and more. And honestly, I can understand why it's one of those things that is now just starting to show up. So I have had multiple people tell me, at conventions of many different kinds, there's anime conventions, comic books, so on, and video game stores like GameStop and independent stores that sell card games and models and things like that have all started installing a similar rule where if you smell bad, you will be asked to leave. And honestly, I know a lot of people who are seeing these rules are just why wasn't this a rule in the first place? For the exact same reason this club in this story didn't think this needed to be a rule. It's you should bathe. No one should have to tell an adult human to wash themselves. That's common sense. We all do that. We all know to do that. That's what the fuck? This is not a thing we really need to inform people of. This is a thing that should honestly just be known. And it really just seems like this guy just does not want to take a bath. He's given opportunities, even with his situation, to take care of these things and just refuses to. So, yeah, I have seen that same rule at, like I said, at cons, at stores. I know GameStop now has a rule. I have actually seen the sign on the front of the GameStop that's actually out here that says if you are not practicing personal hygiene, you will be asked to leave the store. Because, yeah, again, I can understand that. If you own the store, you really don't want your store smelling like that. And if you work at GameStop, you're already not working the best job. It's shitty retail. You're dealing with shitty people. None of it's going to be great. The last thing you need to deal with is some motherfucker who just refuses to even be associated with a bar of soap. I mean, come on, man. That just ain't fair. They work at GameStop. Give them a fucking break. So, yeah. I totally understand why your club would make this rule. And yes, the joke I made about the Chris Chan approach is not just a joke. That is true. There was a period of time, I don't know if that's still a thing Chris is doing, but there was a period of time in which Chris expressed that this was, I think, early into the whole Sonichu thing too. He believed that if you just sprayed yourself with Axe, it was exactly the same as bathing, and therefore you did not need to wash yourself. That is a thing he did. So, yeah. I have no words. I cannot believe that's a thing that a lot of people are doing, because that is just sad on a whole different level. But I want to go ahead and end this video, so thank you all for watching. If you have been enjoying this and would like to send in your own pictures, videos, stories, anything, you can send it to r/Moonhorse Stories. I check it every day. If you'd like to keep the lights on in this place, we can keep reading about stuff like this and more, you can do that by donating to Patreon or by buying stuff from the merch store. Or you can do both if you're like 10 kinds of awesome. There's, all kinds of cool stuff you can do. New stuff added to the merch store every day. Not every day, but a lot of the times, because Threadless is forever making new stuff that, honestly, I just kind of find, and I'm like, oh, that would look neat. So, yeah, I just keep checking for shit. If I find out about it, you'll roughly find out about it not long after I did. And if you'd like to talk, I don't know, more personally, hang out and do weird shit, there is a live stream every Saturday, about 9 Central till about midnight. I do it every Saturday. It's usually just reading crazy weird stories from the internet, answering questions, the usual, chill shit. It's just, we hang out. It's a hangout. It's a Moonhorse hangout. I haven't called it that, but that's pretty much what it is. I should probably call it that, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Point is, you're always invited. So thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe with the YouTube thing. I don't know how it works anymore. There may be some other things you're supposed to do. I don't fucking know. Do all the things. Do all the things, and always be awesome. And I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, I just gotta find the stop button now. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Bye.